much for inviting me to this cube. It's such a weird, interesting cube, the mono blue cube. Yeah. The first cube you played, was it like a best of Magic?
Yeah, it was best of Magic cube.
So then, what led you to building a mono blue cube?
Well, I'm always the kind of guy who likes trying out different things. I like thought experiments too. So I wanted to, so this is kind of like a mix of just like trying out stuff as well as like a thought experiment, seeing if I could just build a cube with only one color. It was Hero Tarantula, where someone had a mono brown cube.
Was it all artifacts?
All artifacts, and I also thought that was so cool and so weird, and the minute I drafted was just so bad because I had no idea what I was doing, because it was mono brown. So then I was like, what if I did that, but it was all one color. So, and I chose blue because that red would just all be aggressive strategies, green would all be creature strategies, and then like black and white and blue were the only real choices. And I chose blue partly because of the allure of it. Mono blue cube sounds a lot more interesting than just mono white cube.
Yeah. What are some of the problems you faced when like designing and then playing the mono blue cube?
Building it was a long and arduous process because my Magic collection was a lot less extensive, and I had to I was like trying to scrounge for all the pieces, and like people didn't always have this ran blue card from like years and years ago. So building it was a bit of a process in itself, playing with it. But the real struggles have come from playing with it, and also trying to find people to play the cube with.
So that's another problem. When you explain the cube to somebody, is it usually a turn off?
It's always the funniest thing. I actually love explaining the cube to people, because then I can watch their reaction. Because always either go like that sounds like the best idea ever, or they go like, why would you ever do that? You are a terrible person.
So Frank, you're here. You're going to play a cube. Are you excited? What type of draft strategies do you think you're going to play today?
I think I'm going to draft white, blue, control. Going to make my matchup super long.
Should we give Frank any warning at all? Or?
No.
Okay.
It'll be better than
Yeah. I'll give you a warning.
Don't.
My draft style is I like to make people play what color I want them to. So I hate on things pretty hard.
Is it all one color?
No. Crazy. Let's go.
Hey everyone, it's Miles here, or Milo, however you know me. I'm going to call this draft, not call it, I guess I'll just walk you through what I'm doing here, because it's a little dark and hard to see what each card does, and a lot of these cards are also obscure, but one card I do recognize immediately is Winter Orb. So I definitely want to pick that up because I know it's in my original cube, and locking down a bunch of islands seems like a good strategy in a mono blue cube. Keep in mind I didn't look at the deck list, and I don't really know anything about this cube, other than, but I mean, like, how different can it be? You know, it's still a cube. And I'm still probably going to be playing mono blue, even if it's not a mono blue cube, so here we are. The choices are Star of Temptation, Miscalculation, Treasure Cruise, Brainstorm, and Jace Beleren. It's a pretty deep pack for a mono blue cube, but I'm going to go with the Star of Temptation because I feel like there's not going to be a lot of ways to answer on-board threats with blue. So control magic effects seem like they're even better, and they're pretty good to begin with. Also, I wanted to let you guys know that we are drafting 5 packs of 9 cards because we're only playing 4 players. So it isn't 3 packs of 15 cards. This is something that they do. I haven't cubed with these guys before, but I'm going to obviously take their word for it. If they know how to draft their own cube, it makes a lot of sense. So the choice is Psionic Blast or the Wake Thrasher. I take the Psionic Blast. We have a Memory Jar, Ninja of the Deep Hours, Phyrexian Ingester, I believe its name is, and Hammerhead Shark, Polluted Delta. Hammerhead Shark, a card you might not know, it's a 2/3 for 1 and a blue, and it can't attack unless defending player controls islands. Of course they will, it's a mono blue cube. but I'm going to take the Ninja. I feel like there's probably a lot of good enters the battlefield triggers in blue, like Mana Wars or, I don't know, Mole Drifters or something. So this is my first pack. It came back to me. We have a Sea Singer, I believe its name is. It's a Merfolk for 2 mana, and it taps to add a colorless, or you can tap a colorless and it to add a blue mana. But it's a 1/1 Merfolk for 2 that taps to... But I'm going to try out this new card from Fate Reforged, the Frost Illusion. I think that's its name. I don't know. It's the 4/1 for 1 and a blue, but it has the, if it's targeted, it dies. Claws. Frostwalker. That's his name. That's what I got so far. Just taking a look at it. I could return to my hand with the Ninja, and it's Ninja doesn't target it, right? So I'm really surprised here. I get the Treasure Cruise or the Brainstorm. I'm going to go with the Treasure Cruise just because I really want to play with Treasure Cruise. I don't really get a lot of chances. That's a Maelstrom Jin. It's a morph creature. It's a 5/6 flyer. It morphs for 2 and a blue. But when it morphs, you put 2 suspend counters on it. The Phyrexian Jester. That card is in my EDH deck, so I felt like I should go with it. I could have taken the Polluted Delta there because I do have the Treasure Cruise, so it would have made a little bit of sense. But also, I kind of want to have big creatures. I don't know if there's going to be a lot of big creatures going around, and I probably want something. Look at that. I opened a Black Lotus, although that one is a proxy because it only adds blue mana to your mana pool. Just add... Sacrifice Black Lotus, add 3 blue to your mana pool. That is something that I'm going to be all about right now. Let's take a quick look again. I know we just did this, but now there's a Black Lotus that we're going to want to look at. So we're totally going to want to look at that Black Lotus some more. Oh, we could put an Ensoul Artifact on top of our Black Lotus, make our Black Lotus a 5/5 flyer. We also have a Worn Power Stone that kind of goes with what I want to do. Academy Ruins, putting Black Lotus on the top of your library every turn doesn't actually seem like the greatest play. Because you're not drawing cards, it doesn't seem that great. Sorry, I put the cards a little too low here. This is, I'm going to take the Worn Power Stone. This is kind of a last-minute decision to come out here and film Mix Mono Blue Cube. I just want to thank him again. I know I thank him in the video, but thanks so much for inviting us and letting us film this and be a part of this cube. It was really interesting, really cool. So that's Withdraw. It's 2 blue, instant, bounces a creature to its owner's hand, and then bounces another creature to its owner's hand unless the controller of that creature pays 1 colorless mana. I don't know what that card is. Alright, so we got Jace's Archivist, Rabbit Hybridization, Altar of the Brood, and Geralf's Meathead. Rapid Hybridization is an instant for 1 blue, makes something a 3/3 creature. Destroys a creature and makes it a 3/3 beast, or gives you a 3/3 beast token. The card I took is a 5/5 for 6 with Undying, and that when it comes into play, mills 5. This is a really quick, easy pick. Upheaval, it's one of the main cards I was looking for in this cube. As soon as I saw Upheaval, I knew that was where I was going. No question about it. Upheaval's 4 and 2 blue. It's sorcery. All players return all their permanents to their owner's hands. That's Temporal Adept. It's 1 and 2 blue. Pay 3 blue and tap it to bounce a permanent. It's I think it's just a 1/1 though. It's easily dealt with. Snake Form is what I took. It's 2 and a green-blue hybrid. Instant, turns a creature into a 1/1 snake, and you draw a card. Now I took a Misdirection. So this is that pack with the Rapid Hybridization, Altar of the Brute, and the Hedron Crab. I'm going to take the Rapid Hybridization only because even if I don't play it, it's a good card to have in the sideboard in case they have a creature I can't deal with. Complicate is definitely better than Perplexing Chimera. I don't think that card's good enough for even the Mono Blue cube. And Complicate actually used to be in my cube, so I know it's a good card. And a Pristine Talisman, Military Intelligence. This card I've never seen before. Maichin the Mind Cage, 4 and 3 blue, Legendary Enchantment, and all creatures get -X, -O, X equal to the number of cards in your hand. Military Intelligence is a new card from M15. When you attack with 3 or more creatures, you draw a card. There's a Phantasmal Bear there. It's the most aggressive blue creature in, well, I mean, maybe Delver. Alright, so Pristine Talisman. more mana rocks. I mean, I have the upheaval now. What I want are things like mana rocks. We have an exclude and an ancestral vision. Now, normally in my cube, I would be playing. I would take that. I'd slam that ancestral visions over the exclude. However, in this cube, I kind of want the exclude because I know that I'm going to need ways to deal with creatures, and I don't have options like red and black and white. So I'm definitely going to want to take that exclude. Now we have a desertion here, which is a card that I really like in my cube. It's counterspell, and then if the spell is an artifact or a creature card, you can play it. And like I said, I think there's going to be some problems with dealing with creatures. So desertion is a good one for me. And I mean I know there's powerful artifacts in this cube already. I took a Black Lotus. I got a Willbender. It's a misdirection that I'm more likely to play. There's a Forbid. Maybe I get something that I don't know. Oh, Merfolk Looter is really good with Treasure Cruise, so I took that Merfolk Looter. Let's take a quick look at what I got again. Contested Warzone I didn't show you. That was my last pick in the first pack. It's just a land that taps for colorless, so you can pay 1 and tap it, and all your creatures get +1/+0 until end of turn. And whenever you take damage, the controller of that damage gains control of Contested Warzone. Silver Gear Adept, I can see there's a Merfolk theme in this cube. It's 1 in a blue, and I believe it's a 2/1 when it comes into play. Draw a card, and you have to pay 3 mana extra for it when you cast it, unless you reveal a Merfolk from your hand. I took the black-blue finisher and current constructed the Pearl Lake Ancient. And then we have a Stroke of Genius, or that flying creature. I took the flying creature because it is a flying creature. And then on that weird enchantment I got last pick. Ooh, I got a Black Vice. I'm probably going to slam that Black Vice. Except for Sword of Feast and Famine. Now, Sword of Feast and Famine is not as good as it normally is because there's no black or green cards in this cube. So the protection really doesn't do too much. The thing about the Black Vice, normally it's not for pack 1, pick 1. But I drafted the upheaval and I don't have a lot of win conditions. So that Black Vice is actually a win condition in my deck with the upheaval.
This is tough.
It's a tough choice, but I take the sword only because being able to untap all of your lands in mono blue cube and passing the turn seems really, really strong. This pack has a Cloudskate, which is like the Merfolk Looter that the Man of War that I was looking for. There's a Felwar Stone though, and I can't really pass any mana rocks. There's a counterspell. I don't have too many of those, so I think I want to take it. That land behind it is a land that gives a creature protection from artifacts. Void Mage Apprentice, Mist Form, Beast, Venser. There is the better than Mana War. I'll take that. So I've decided that I'm going to do matches for this as well. I'm going to show you guys some matches, but this isn't like the Holiday Cube or the Cube Championships. It's not going to look nearly that good. I'm pretty much just going to use the raw footage of the matches, and I'm going to record a commentary track over it, like I'm doing right now, and that's how it's going to be. The Black Vice did come back around, so I'm able to still get my upheaval Black Vice. Hopefully it works. It's definitely going to see play. And I think Black Vice is just pretty good when everyone's playing mono blue. Like, you would assume that everybody's going to have a lot of cards in hand at all times. I took the Impulse. It's a great card if I'm searching for a combo like my upheaval or something. That's Mick, the designer of the cube, as you saw in the beginning of the video. Make sure to stay past the credits if you want to see more of the interview I did with Mick before we got our cube on. So you have an Elixir of Immortality, and then the instant was the 2 and a blue, tap a creature, draw a card. I took a Claustrophobia because, again, I want ways to deal with creatures, or the possibility of boarding into ways to deal with creatures. That's Kyle. He cubes as well. He was he was available, and I think he's friends with Mick, so he came down for the cubage. Hopefully, we'll do one of these with his cube in the future. He's got a cube as well, and they have milkshake sleeves on it. So this is first pick, fourth pack or last pack? No, this is the last pack. I took a So in this pack, I'm looking at Tezzeret. I don't really... I mean, I guess I could untap my Mana Rocks, which seems pretty good. But I really like that Snapcaster Mage. And I mean, I don't really know what everybody else is doing. Maybe the Tezzeret will come back to me. Grab that Snap. And then I see the Time Vault in the next pack. Oh, I wish I grabbed that Tezzeret so badly. Ooh, but there is a Mind Over Matter, so I'm going to take that Time Vault and hope the Mind Over Matter comes back to me. Let's take a quick look at what I've drafted one more time, just in case you forgot. Maybe you have some issues with your memory, because I've edited this draft down quite a bit, so that you don't have to spend time watching me look at Frank in between packs. Alright, so we have a Vapor Snag, a Spell Pierce, a Powder Keg, a Painter's Servant, and a Vidalcan Either Mage. I don't know what this card does. Probably going to take the Vapor Snag. Goes really well with Snapcaster Mage, as you may remember from Scars of Mirrodin, Innistrad, Standard. So we have an Augur of Bolas or a Brittle Effigy. I think I'm going to go with the Brittle Effigy for reasons stated before about creature removal. There's still a Time Twister in this pack, and increasing confusion is pretty nuts. If somebody's going for that mill strategy, I think that it might be successful, so I just hated it. That Mind Over Matter is 3 cards left in the pack, and it came back to me. Thank God. I'm playing Time Vault. We've got a Spell Pierce and a Painter's Servant. I take the Spell Pierce because it's better than the Painter's Servant. I didn't see a Grindstone, so... And you do actually still need the Grindstone to make the... Or you still need the Painter's Servant to make that combo work. But, yeah, that's it for the draft. Join me next week for 2 matches. I filmed 2 matches of this. We'll release them both next week. I hope you enjoyed this, and please leave comments. Let Mick know what you think about his cube. Bye, everyone. So you've done the mono blue cube thing. What's next? What's your next project?
Okay, well, after so many, like, we talked about the love it, hate it thing. About 20% love my cube, 80% hate it about. So just from like not people who play it, but like people that I've just talked to about it. And I realized that over time that on the spectrum of things of cubes that people think to be fun, mine's at one end, and then on like the lower end. Okay. So I wanted to build a cube that in someone's mind, when they first heard about it, they thought it'd be awesome, just like really fun. So I thought that's what led me to try and build an uncube, which is something like using cards from like Unglued and Unhinged and Conspiracy, just like silly cards. And this has been an idea that's been going around my head for a long time, ever since my friend Tomalay, he had a Pauper cube, and he always and I played this Pauper cube many times, but he always wanted to build an uncube, but he never had the drive really to do it, and it's just an idea that kept getting thrown around between different people for years, and I was like, okay, I'll finally build this. And so I got out the spreadsheets, and it's all on paper right now. But that's to be tweaked, and I actually still have to buy the cards. But look for it soonish.
Okay. And now, have you ever decided to build a 4-color cube, everything except blue, as a companion piece to your mono blue cube?
I have thought about that too, but I realized that I don't want. I've never really felt like getting Tarmogoyf and Dark Confidant and all the real cube staples besides the blue ones. Right. So I've just been like, and then I'll get the land. So
Yeah.
if you ever have infinite money, then I'll do that.
But think about it this way: you could do 2 packs of 4-color cube and 1 pack of mono cube.
That would be the weirdest. That is actually a great idea, but it's so weird.
It'd be like the Odyssey, Torment, Judgment.
Yeah.